Now, with that puzzle out of the way, we are going to move on to Nerve Wrecker, which is, yeah, man, this is a good one. We're gonna start this one off a little bit differently. I have a bit of a weird method of doing this one, so it might take a little bit of time to actually complete. You see, okay, don't do that. Right, let's try doing this just a tad bit differently so that way we can have things aligned properly. We're gonna go ahead and let Big Brother over there outside of the gate. And next up we are going to just maybe temporarily jam him in his position. If I get the chance to do that. As long as I can just keep him on this side of the gate and then jam this from here, that might prevent that from... yeah, that should work for the time being. As long as this jammer is positioned right around here, we just need to quarantine that mine and also his little brother over there outside of this gate, so that way we can have a jolly old time with these jammers without anyone else interfering. That's basically the idea behind this puzzle, and you have to do this a couple of times. For this one, you just need to bring one mine out, and it can be a little bit scary. I should have a general idea of how this goes. Basically, the mines in the center of the field will never reach you as long as you are standing by this wall. That's basic mine logic for you in this game, and it continues to stay that way for a while. Now, as for where we're going to put this one, I think we're going to try and quarantine it right behind that barrier, sort of similar to how we trapped the other two mines. And to do this, I'm going to probably prevent one of them from moving back, just to be safe. And also stop that guy from moving about, because he is being annoying! There we go. Super spooky. Absolute spook. Now then, yeah, don't do that. Right, don't do what I just did. Now it becomes... this puzzle basically starts to live up to his name in no time at all. You kinda have to set things up in such a way where you can sneak around these mines without having to worry about any of them colliding with you, and it can be a little bit treacherous. Right now, that mine is not exactly in the optimal position, and I'm actually going to have to be very quick on my toes about this one, otherwise I will explode. So, jam the door like this, and then proceed to jam that like so. Now, what you have to do next is probably hold open the door from around this angle, like that. So that way, once you release that mine, it will no longer be jammed, but it will also be blocked by another jammer. We are going to quarantine yet another mine in a different part of the puzzle. So just let this guy sail by, and ignore the incessant beeping sounds, because those beeping sounds are completely harmless. Only the bomb itself is entirely harmless. The beeping, I don't know, maybe not so much. And now we have to just... we have to jam a couple more things. This is just all such a jam fest, my man. We are doing a whole lot of jamming right now. That was the name of one of the puzzles in the previous worlds. The way you have to set this one up is so that way you can sneak right between those two mines in the final area of the puzzle, and it's not fun. It's actually one of the scarier parts, because I'm always worried I'm going to blow up and do something that I don't want to be doing. So, we're gonna take this a little bit slowly. We're gonna start off by just jamming this one so we don't have to worry about it anymore. Be careful when you sneak around the corner, because this mine can technically still see you. And then very quickly sprint by both of them. Boom. Puzzle done. I'm quite surprised I did not die there, because I was thinking to myself, yeah, this is where I die. This is... my fate has been sealed. I am just going to explode into a million bits, and it will take years to glue me back together. But thankfully, I am not in need of any robotic technical service. I have managed to save myself from the threat of the bombs, and now we can move on to this final puzzle of the area, which involves more explosives. I mean, if you wanted this game to be a little bit more like Serious Sam, go to this world in particular, and this is basically as close to Serious Sam as you're gonna get. There's just bombs and explosions everywhere. Now this puzzle, I'd consider to be a little bit intermediate, and it just requires a whole bunch of steps and thinking ahead. First of all, You need to jam the door like this, and then probably reposition it, actually, so that way I can grab this jammer later when I need it. Otherwise, it will be blocking the mine, and that's not helpful. That's actually quite useless, because the mine will just bounce back forth, and I won't have any way out of this puzzle. You see, part of the problem is that the sigil is hiding behind a locked door, which requires a key, for once. It's very seldomly rare, like, very rare that you can actually collect a sigil by, you know, picking up a set of keys and then doing your business from there. In fact, there's actually two sets of keys. There's, like, one over there, that actually unlocks the sigil, but there's also a set of keys back there, which we need to open this door. So, a whole bunch of different sets of keys. It could be a little bit confusing if you carry a bunch of keys around with you, otherwise you're gonna be fumbling around for a while, like, okay, these are my car keys, these are my house keys. Where's the sigil key? Where's the one where I can unlock the sigils and beat the game? Don't worry, I'll be able to guide you to that one very shortly. Once again, we're going to trap these mines together for a little bit of time, and then we will do the exact opposite and put them back in their original place. You know, put that thing back where it came from, or so help me, I am going to scream. Very, very quietly. It will be a very quiet scream because it is late at night and there are actually people trying to sleep, so I should not talk so loudly in the first place. I'm actually in a fairly quiet room, in an area where nobody could really hear me that easily, but still. It's one of those virtues where you should be polite and considerate of other people who are sleeping in this household. Okay, good, those two are actually traveling together in a circus. That's actually really helpful because I can just jam them like that and boom, you're done. Now you don't need to worry about them being in the same room as, you know, pal over there. Now, next part of the puzzle. This is another unique little part of this area where the mines travel a bit of a fixed path. I mean, you're probably used to seeing mines traveling fixed paths before in very rare instances, but most of the time, they're usually probably just going in a straight line, but these ones travel diagonally, and that's pretty neat. You don't see this very often, but hey, it's a thing in this puzzle, and, you know, respect it. Respect it for being there, because it's quite unique, you have to admit. It is one of the more unique things about this particular world that you just don't see anywhere else, such as chopping down trees to solve puzzles. Seriously, I want to see more of that in the Talos Principle DLC. I want to be able to chop down more trees. I want to break down more barriers with crowbars. I want to do things that the Talos Principle alone just doesn't allow you to do very often. We are heading into advanced innovation territory when it comes to Crow Team's games, and obviously, we need to do more things, such as finding cat pictures in secrets and uploading them to computers so we can view them. We need more cat pictures in Crow Team's games. That's exactly why we have Serious Sam 4 in development, so that way we can have more of the cat pictures. Alright, having collected the next set of keys, we are going to be slightly patient and wait for this mine to pass us by once more. This is going to be the ultimate death of me. Well, this mine's just going to blow me up and I'm going to have to do this puzzle all over again. Just calling it out right now as a spoiler for the video in case you haven't watched ahead just yet, but I'm going to die a very terrible death right about now. See, terrible death. And with that terrible death out of the way, boom. Third silver sigil. And that's pretty much all we can get for this world. But there is, however, one Easter egg in this star area. This rather beautiful looking star area. I could sit here all day because I just love the way this place looks. It has a very beautiful sunset motif to it. But enough about that. I'm just rambling. There's an Easter egg back here. You can find a mirror. It's very rare you actually find a mirror in Crow Team's games, but when you do, you can see the brilliant animations in first-person mode, such as the jumping animation, which doesn't really have much of an animation in the first place, but hey, you can jump. You can look at yourself in third person. That's pretty cool. You can let yourself kind of move around. This is like one of the actual areas of the game where you can actually reliably see the front of yourself. Not something that's demonstrated very often, and if you walk close enough to the mirror, you can start seeing things that you're really not supposed to see, because Crow Team. But, you know, I'm not going to complain too much. That effect doesn't actually show up when you go into third-person mode, which is important to point out, so if you prefer third-person mode, this will be a little less buggy. And that about does it for World's A Star, I guess I'm going to call it World A Star. Yeah, that's pretty much it. A lot of interesting, unique little puzzles, and probably one of my favorite worlds in the entire game. And with that out of the way, we might leave. And I'm kind of sad because Sam does not have anything to say in response to us completely destroying World A, but I guess it doesn't matter in the end. We still have 2 more Star Worlds to cover, and then we will have collected all of the sigils in the game. But until then, I just want to thank you guys very much for watching. Have a great day or evening, and I guess I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.